This is the portion of the MOTECH ScheduleTracking OpenMRS demo where I am going to walk you through the actual demo twice. First via the OpenMRS web application and the ScheduleTracking Demo API, and then via a mobile device. We first must create a patient in OpenMRS. And as you can see, OpenMRS requires login credentials, which are available to you via the written tutorial that accompanies this video. So when I'm logged in, the first thing I want to do is create a new patient. So I go to the Find or Create Patient tab. And I create a name for my patient. So let's call her Krista Demo. And give her a birth date. She's female. Now we hit Create Person. And it asks me for some additional information about Krista. And some of this is required and some of it's not. So I'm just for now going to fill out what I know is required. And that is the identifier, which is going to be the same 3-digit number that we register Krista as in MOTECH. So I'm going to make it memorable and just say 456. And the identifier type, we want to select MOTECH ID. Select Preferred, and then we hit Save. And here is our new patient. Now we know that we need to register Krista into MOTECH. So let's move over to the ScheduleTracking Demo API and do so. Here's the home page for the ScheduleTracking demo, and we just need to register Krista into MOTECH. So recall that her ID is 456, and we'll give her a phone number. As you can see, Krista's ID now appears at the bottom of the screen, and her current milestone is not currently enrolled. So let's enroll her. You'll now see that her current milestone has changed to Demo Milestone 1. You may recall that for the first milestone, the schedule sends its first message after 2 minutes. So let's speed ahead 2 minutes.
Hello, you are due for your first shot in this vaccination series. You have 4 minutes until you are late for your first shot. Please visit your clinic.
So we now know that we are due for our first vaccination shot. And what that means for our sake is that we need to complete an OpenMRS encounter. So let's go ahead and try to do that. In OpenMRS, we go to the Administration tab. Find Encounters and hit Manage Encounters. And we're going to add an encounter for Krista, who is 456. I'll be the provider. This time, let's pretend that we forget to save the encounter and see what happens. This time, let's ignore the phone call and just check our text messages. We now know that we are late for the vaccination, or the fulfillment of the first concept or encounter in OpenMRS terms, or the first milestone in MOTECH terms. But let's still do nothing. We should witness that after another minute, we receive another message. So let's again speed ahead. For the sake of time, let's just once again check our text messages. And we see that we have again received a message that we are late for our first shot. Now, recall that we're going to remain in this late window for 3 more minutes. And then we still have 5 more minutes in the max window to get the shot, in turn fulfilling the milestone in OpenMRS concept or encounter. But I'm still going to forget about my shot, and let's fast forward 8 minutes. And once again, let's check our text messages. And we now see that we neglected to get our vaccination shot. So this means that we have been defaulted from the schedule, which means that we are unenrolled and we will not receive any more messages. I am now going to walk you through the demo as it is done via mobile phone, which for me is this Nokia 2330 model. This time, we're going to pretend that we are an ideal patient and that we get all of our vaccination shots on time. I first type in this URL in order to download the mobile application over the air. Here you'll see it downloads as MOTECH Forms, and if we open it up, it asks us for some credentials. For the demo, we have MOTECH as the username, and you can retrieve the password via the written document that accompanies this video. Once we log in, the first thing we see is the main menu, and since we are going to be filling out forms for the demo, we will select Select Form from this menu. And we know that we first need to register a patient, so we're going to select the first form, which is Patient Registration. This will allow us to register a new patient both into MOTECH and into OpenMRS. And here are the fields for the form. We first need to enter a MOTECH ID, which you may recall is a 3-digit number. Then enter a first name, Kristen this time. Last name is Demo. Gender, female. And it's going to ask me which location the patient is registering for, and I'm at home, so I select home. My date of birth, phone number, and the last question is whether or not we want to enroll the patient in the demo schedule. And for our purposes, the answer is yes. Then we're going to save the form and upload this data to MOTECH and OpenMRS. Recall that according to the ScheduleTracking schedule, the first due notification will be sent after a 2-minute wait. So let's speed ahead 2 minutes. If we check our text messages, we see that we received a message that we are due for the first shot in the vaccination series. So we know that we have 4 minutes to complete an OpenMRS encounter in order to complete the first milestone in MOTECH. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing we do is select the patient encounter form from the Forms menu. And it's going to ask us for some similar fields. So we fill in the MOTECH ID, the observation date, and we indicate which concept this is for. So because this is the first milestone and the first vaccination shot, we select Demo Concept 1. Hit OK. Where did this encounter occur? It occurred at home. Save the data. And we again upload this to MOTECH and OpenMRS. According to the ScheduleTracking schedule, because I uploaded the data for milestone 1 on time, we should receive another message in 2 minutes that we are due for our second shot. This will be an indication that we've moved on to the second milestone. So let's go ahead 2 minutes. And if we check our text messages, we see that we are now due for our second shot. So we once again need to fulfill an OpenMRS encounter. So let's go ahead and go back to the Forms menu, select Patient Encounter, and fill out the necessary items. This time we select Demo Concept 2 because we're on our second shot, the second milestone, and the second concept in OpenMRS. So we're going to upload this form as well to MOTECH and OpenMRS. And we should receive another message in 2 minutes if everything's gone well that we are due for our third shot. So let's speed ahead. So we received another text that now we are due for our third shot in the vaccination series. So we must complete another OpenMRS encounter for our third milestone or third concept. So we select the encounter form again and fill out the information. This time we select Demo Concept 3 because we're on our third milestone and the third OpenMRS concept. And we're going to upload the data to OpenMRS and MOTECH. And if we've done everything correctly so far, which I think we have, we should receive the message for our fourth and final shot after a 2-minute wait. So let's speed ahead 2 minutes. So let's check our text messages for the last time. And we see that we're due for the final shot in the series. So we need to fulfill our last patient encounter in OpenMRS. So let's do it. Select the form. Should look pretty familiar by now. This time we select Concept 4 because we're on our last and fourth milestone and fourth concept in OpenMRS. And after we upload the data to MOTECH and OpenMRS, we have completed all 4 milestones and we've done it on time. So we will no longer receive any messages from MOTECH and we will be unenrolled from the schedule. And this success brings us to the end of the demo. In order to achieve a better understanding of anything I've gone over with the MOTECH system, its use of schedule tracking, mobile forms, or OpenMRS, I strongly encourage you to look at the written tutorial that accompanies the video, along with the other documentation on the MOTECH website. Thank you.